Has Radovid's messenger been by?
Yes, sir.
And what did he say?
Temeria cannot survive. The kingdom will be divided. The nobles are riled. Constable Natalis stands on shaky ground.
The loyal old Natalis will get kicked in the ass. How predictable.
They nearly reached an agreement, but without Foltest's daughter, it didn't work out.
Perfect. Are the quarters ready?
There is a little problem.
Then we must look at this problem. There's no door.
We can't lock her in a doorless cell.
I can see that, you fool. Out of my way. Uncle Deathmold will cast a tiny spell on your little house. Versa Anem. We won't let that naughty Natalis get you. Clear up in here. This is Loch Muin, not a bloody pigsty.
Oh, bollocks, Geralt. Marshal Raupenek was a cruel, bloodthirsty prick, true. But the times were different.
He had his men murder every last elf in Loch Muin.
For years, Yorveth and his ilk have been using that banner to wipe their asses clean of the shit they do. In wartime, a commander's forced to make all kinds of decisions. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, and I'm sure it lay really heavily on Raupenek's conscience.
Bollocks again. I've already admitted he was a prick. Are you defending the Enshe? They've got barrels of blood on their hands as well. With the Vrans gone, we had to safeguard this source of the power, safeguard this historic city. Huh, elven drivel. Heaps of lizard-like bones were found in nearby caves, all bearing traces of sword cuts. Think what you will. I'm more interested in the city's current inhabitants.
Why am I worried you're going to do something really stupid once we get there?
Above all, I'll find the cure to my suffering.
Deathmold was just a pawn in Henselt's hands.
Deathmold is a bloody murderer, and Henselt was a king. A king I killed. He didn't believe I'd do it till the very end. Nor did I. It's not something I want to discuss again. I don't know if I'll ever strike those images from my mind, but I know I don't want to talk about it.
Taking revenge on Deathmold won't change a thing.
Oh, but it will. The ghosts of my comrades will drink to my health.
Let's see now.
All stripes were more than a fighting force. I selected and trained those warriors. It's true.
Damn it.
Knights of the Order.
This is the last place I'd expect to see Knights of the Flaming Rose.
They're here with Radovid. After losing their foothold in Temeria, they rebuilt their position at the Redanian court. You best stay out of sight. You never know with those bigots.
Don't worry about the Knights. Not so long ago I saved their asses. They ought to remember that much.
That was before you were accused of regicide. This is no man's land, Geralt. Anything can happen here. I'll vouch for you where I can, but that'll only get you so far. If we're separated, we'll meet up again in the main square.
Fine.
Halt! Who goes there?
Geralt of Rivia.
Witcher. The Grand Master will be pleased to see you.
Is he here?
Inside the city. Brother Siegfried likes to attend to important matters personally.
Yeah, he's like that. It'll be nice to talk about the good old days.
Geralt of Rivia.
Greetings, Siegfried.
I thought you were in hiding.
Only the guilty hide.
You're still a wanted man.
Some are out there looking for me, and I'm in Loch Muin looking for someone else.
I believe you to be innocent.
Believe it enough to help me prove it?
Outside the walls, I am your servant.
You'd be more helpful inside.
That's impossible at the moment.
At the moment?
Who knows what might happen?
Well, whatever does, I need to get into Loch Muin and see Radovid.
I shall let you in and mention you to the king. He trusts me. But you must be careful. Behind those walls, no one says what they mean. The city's been divided into fortified camps. Pretty strange for peace talks.
As is having a regiment of the Order's knights stationed at the gates. Is this just a show of strength?
More than a show. There have been a few minor incidents. It seems the kings gathered in Loch Muin have limited confidence in their diplomatic skills.
Does that include Radovid?
Radovid is an ambitious ruler.
I get the feeling this summit will be about more than just talk. We'll see who comes out on top. So long, friend.
Farewell.
At your service.
No offense, but you're scaring my customers away. One day someone will
Alright,
get you.
need to find storage. Over there.
Where have we met?
Look,
What do you want?
You're not in the Kedweni camp?
Those Redanian pigs tricked us, as usual. They took the best buildings. It's better out here in the square. A lot of armed men around. The kingdoms are trying to look menacing. People like me'll soon have work to do.
Nice to meet an optimist. Really raises the spirit. The mages are making a country fair out of this summit.
They're parasites who'll stop at nothing to get into the death mold's one of them. He'll be on their side, and Kedwen's vote should count for a lot. Though Henselt would have quickly shown them reason. He was a great ruler. The world will go to pot if only fools and brats are left to rule it.
They're also going to discuss what to do given the assassinations.
Aye, a new world order. I see all those
Forward. Blindly down a steep slope. But
Constable John Natalis.
interest. Witcher.
Witcher Geralt. We meet again. Who would have known? I thought cats always landed on four paws, but I see wolves sometimes do as well. I trust you have not come to demand my surrender again.
I've come to find the Kingslayer.
And once again don the robes of a hero? Enjoy the fame?
I don't know about robes, Arian, but something along those lines.
Well, as much as I detested Foltest, Temeria now trembles in its foundations, and I sincerely hope Natalis succeeds in salvaging it. Otherwise, the barons will tear the country into bits.
The last time we saw each other, you had locked yourself in a cellar full of oil that you had set on fire.
I grew up wandering the nooks and corners of that fortress, Witcher. I know passages even the mice have not heard of.
For a long time, a lot of people thought you were dead.
Well, that would make two of us, am I right?
Shouldn't you be in Vizima? I heard things got a bit chaotic after Foltest died. Might be a good time to try your luck, especially if you've got royal blood in the family.
Clearly, you do not understand what will happen here, Geralt. The re-establishing of the Council and Conclave is but a pretext. The Northmen, only fools and cowards.
Slayer.
Baron Ravenin Kimbolt, I presume.
Does that Witcher's code of yours exempt you from court etiquette? Does it grant you the right to...
I guess I don't need to introduce myself.
Oh no. I know who you are. Geralt of Rivia. Foltest's other favorite hound alongside Roach. Not purebred. They say you bring trouble wherever you appear.
They're gonna re-establish the
We're not here for some magic pomp and...
Is that
You're...
Micah?
Wanderer.
What'll happen?
Is that a note of nostalgia? Remembering your service under... whichever it may be. You don't care a lick about...
I know what I care about. That's why I asked.
Understand this. I'm talking to you.
Haven't seen much evidence of that remembrance, aside from the rewards on my head.
They'd have hanged you if not for the testimony of little Anais.
So the girl finally talked.
Whoever that monk was, to me, he was just like you.
I didn't kill Foltest. That's just one of the things that makes us different.
Really? What else?
I'm a Witcher. But
are you certain it's not just a question of price? Tell me, Geralt.
Triss Marigold. I was there for her.
In that case, you killed many for that woman. You're a paid... That...
I'm not
talking about camarade. It is for the...
Killing for your loved ones. Hardly a new concept as I see it.
You did not fight to defend the source. They... You...
Except I was all...
They owed it...
If there's one...
I tire... Ready for your
No read.
Follow. Greetings.
Halt!
We're here to meet...
Have you been...
We haven't...
Everyone knows the killer is the witch.
Then everyone is wrong.
Not my concern.
The Grand Master of the Order of the Flaming Rose will vouch for us. Besides, this camp is swarming with soldiers. We'd have to be stupid or...
Pass then, if your news is so important, but...
Don't you worry. Temeria stands little chance of surviving if Radovid has made terms with Kidwin.
Even less if he's made a pact with Nilfgaard. He and the Emperor could divide the entire north between them.
I take pleasure in seeing Kidwin picked apart.
But they'd start with the country deepest in chaos. So you'd best hope nothing of that sort has happened.
Did you request an audience with the king?
Yes.
The king will receive you.
The White Wolf?
Radovid.
Geralt of Rivia.
Your Majesty.
As usual, you turn up where and when you're least expected. And in such company. I never thought they'd make a soldier out of you.
It's hard to focus on killing monsters when so many people are out to kill me.
The world has changed greatly since we met those few months ago.
Your voice was different back then.
Temeria stands at the brink of civil war. Kedwin has taken the Pontar Valley by force, and a Nilfgaardian delegation plays a prominent role at the summit of the Northern Kingdoms. Foltest and Demavend are both dead. Though it seems we were signing treaties just yesterday. Henselt was butchered in Vergen.
Why did you bring the Knights of...
The Order of the Flaming Rose is here to ensure that the talks remain peaceful.
What's the delegation from Nilfgaard?
Henselt invited them. Before he died.
Shillard Fitzhestelon would never miss an opportunity like this one.
I've come here for help, Your Majesty.
Wait, Witcher. Were it not for you, Henselt would have perished at the hands of an assassin.
Am I right?
I killed a would-be assassin. Pure coincidence. I just happened to be there.
Things like that often seem to happen to you. Do you know how he died?
No.
I wasn't there.
The first lie of the day, and the negotiations have yet to begin. How can I help you if you're not honest with me?
I'd rather not say that.
Henselt had Roach's unit murdered. I can't when he was looking for Saskia in Vergen after the battle. I cornered him in a hut and I killed him.
I think I know what happened there.
I'm just gonna tell him the truth. Doesn't believe a word of what I say, I might as well just run over it. He already knows everything, I imagine.
Garrett,
Your
as and
it's
the Temer fault hence.
What?
Hen before
Why did
you?
I've
Were it not?
Yes, I was there.
Speak then.
Henselt had Roach's unit murdered. I can't call it anything else. In doing that, he signed his own death sentence. In the chaos that followed the Battle of Vergen, we
I killed him because it had to be done, and Deathmold is next on the list.
That is the only reason I won't have you hanged, Vernon Roach. You said you needed help, Witcher.
If
Constable Nat...
Who's
Only the sorcerer Deathmold and his men.
Sheila de Tanserville is behind the murder.
How do you know?
I don't have any proof, but it's...
Let's say I believe.
It all makes sense. Shillard Fitzestelin.
Triss is work.
She's been detained as a suspect. Shillard believes the sorceress is... Luckily, the entire amphitheater is Well, the talks beckon.
What do you mean by that?
The nobles are rebelling in Vizima. Lacking a ruler, they simply want to
divide Temeria.
Well... Anais, the daughter of Louisa and Foltest, lives. After Foltest's death, the La Valettes came to prominence. Louisa's uncle, Baron Orville, became... He wanted to see Anais on the throne, but Vizima was still in turmoil. During the journey, the girl was kidnapped. Arian La Valette asked me to use my connections to find his sister, which I did. My people tell me Anais is... I cannot mount an armed attack on the Cadwennis. It would be tantamount to declaring war, and we have gathered here to maintain peace. A lone witcher and a former soldier. Bring me Anais, Geralt, and I'll salvage a united Temeria.
I heard Arian died in a fire that consumed La Valette.
We all thought so. The girl is most I would look after her. When she's of age, she can claim the throne. I must attend these two. Bring me the girl, the two of you. Men without country. I, in turn, promise that...
An alliance with Redania is our only chance at preserving Temeria's independence.
It's still risky.
Anais, she's the key.
I still wonder about Boosie's death. The boy would have had a stronger claim to the throne.
Maybe Anais can tell us something. It's high time we visited our old friend, Deathmold.
The Emperor's men hold Triss. They'll get everything they can out of her, after which she'll be dispensable.
If it's between the sorceress's life and Temeria's future, then I've no choice. I'm sorry. Let's wait till we're beyond the gate.
Nothing special.
You want to guard the camp like... Look who's here.
Greetings.
Our paths cross...
Too often.
What do you...
Triss Merigold.
In the Nilfgaardian camp? Fistek has addled your brain.
Lower your sword, son.
That's what I wanted.
You've got cheek, Geralt.
Let's go. One false move and your ambassador will never see Nilfgaard's son again.
My men won't let you leave here alive.
They will if you ask them to, Excellency, and I believe you will.
Reynold Ep Madsen's orders come from the Emperor himself. He'd rather die than give you Marigold.
Then he'll die.
Mark my words. You...
Out of the way, all of you, or the old man dies.
Hold there!
I'm not joking.
I know. And I advise you not to hesitate. Kill him. For we shan't move one bit.
Renwald!
He who brings me the Witcher's head will get the Order of Merit.
But Ambassador Fitz-Estellen...
Your Excellency. Orders from the capital.
Now I'll have to kill you all.
What are you waiting for? Get him!
Long live the Emperor! Long live the Emperor!
I want to see if I can deflect an arrow.
Die, Nordling!
Long live the Emperor!
Did you really think you could just prance in here?
Yep.
Make the Emperor proud! Kill him! Die, Nordling! The Imperial Army's ranks are endless! For Nilfgaard! You're a stubborn beast, Nordling.
Long live the Emperor!
Congratulations, Witcher. They were my best men.
You should have picked them more carefully, or trained them better.
Or perhaps they were ready for any foe but you.
Free Triss, or join them.
You amaze me. How can you risk your life for a witch?
Let's just say we're close.
I knew it. You're in love with her. You wouldn't risk your neck otherwise.
What are you talking?
Your friend and the other witches
How do you know that?
from the best possible source.
And how did you convince her to do that?
By showing her the confession.
I don't believe you.
That's irrelevant at this point. jury.
Maybe now they'll start fighting like men.
Time to show you. Surround him! Shame to the Empire. Shield bearers, forward! Taste our steel! Taste our steel! Emperor, I failed you.
Geralt?
Didn't expect to see me.
Are you kidding? The only person you expect to see in a Nilfgaardian dungeon is the Executioner.
Did they torture you?
They tried various things, but they got nothing from me.
When I left Flopson with Vernon, I somehow doubted I'd find you so soon.
I know it was hard on you. I'll never forget this, you hear? Never.
I'd slaughter half the Nilfgaardian army for a friend. I know you're a member of the Lodge, Triss.
How do you know of the Lodge?
Does it matter? I also know the Lodge was behind Demoven's assassination.
Geralt,
I trust you.
True. I'm a member of the Lodge. Just like 8 other sorceresses. But if you think I'm responsible for the Lodge's actions, you're badly mistaken. The Lodge is a theater for 2 actresses. Sheila and Philippa have long dominated it.
To the point where you didn't know about the murder they planned?
To the point where I was no longer invited to gatherings.
Why?
They stopped trusting me.
Because you didn't agree with them?
9 women very rarely agree on anything. The actual problem was that...
Tell me.
I was close to you. If Sheila fears anyone, it's Geralt of Rivia. The Lodge did everything to convince me that our relationship didn't bother them, even that it suited them. But they manipulated me. Through me, they fed you select information. Depending on the circumstances, they twisted facts.
We're still close. They could still be doing it.
Don't insult me.
Calm down, Triss. Reynold Ep Matson claimed otherwise, but I'll always take your word over that of some Nilfgaardian lowlifes. Now, you'll tell me everything you know. I need to learn the truth.
All existing councils of mages disintegrated after the Thaned massacre. We all acted separately. Philippa decided to create a new organization, a secret one this time. When I was sworn in, it never crossed my mind that the Lodge's plans would soon become secret to its members. As you know, Philippa's not one for minor undertakings. She presented a plan for creating a powerful state controlled by sorceresses.
No wonder the kings are opposing the sorceresses. Nobody likes a schemer.
Philippa and Sheila never lacked ideas or enthusiasm. To control a powerful state, they needed to create one first. Or find a wealthy land with a suitable political arrangement and an easily manipulated ruler. Sheila chose the Pontar Valley, Demavend, and Stennis.
Demavend hated mages.
No more than Henselt or Radovid. Sheila and Philippa saw Demavend as the weakest ruler. His son, Stennis, blows hot and cold. Plus, he who controls the Pontar Valley controls the north. So it was in Edirn that a popular rebel emerged, preaching the idea of a new state. At one of our meetings, I just asked how they imagined overthrowing Demavend. That was the last time I was invited. After Demavend's death, I became suspicious, but had no evidence. Philippa brushed me off. When you went off to meet Yorveth and Sheila was busy with the Karen's carcass, I managed to scan parts of her megascope. That's when I learned that Sheila had dealings with Letho.
Why didn't you tell me?
I wanted to, but we never met after that. Letho must have shadowed me when I entered Sheila's room. Then he forced me to teleport us to somewhere near Vergen.
Did you talk to him?
He wasn't aggressive. In Vergen, he told me that Sheila commissioned them to assassinate Demavend. Them being the Witchers of the School of the Viper. Sheila helped them prepare the assassination.
I wonder why he told you about it.
Is that important?
Conspirators who suddenly divulge everything. I'd be suspicious.
There was some interference as we teleported to Edirn. I emerged intact, but pretty battered. I knew Philippa was in the area. I decided to go see her and lay my cards on the table.
Maybe Letho wanted just that.
I met a woman at Philippa's house. Thought she was just a servant or Philippa's lover. Before I could speak, I was overpowered by spells. I hardly expected an attack. The pain I felt as my body was compressed. It's indescribable. As if all my bones were being broken. It's even worse when you return to your true form. In any case, Philippa had no idea her lover was a Nilfgaardian spy. I was carried as that figurine all the way to Loch Muin. Asira decompressed me back just before they murdered her. Shillard interrogated me but learned nothing. If it wasn't for you, they'd have had me quartered. I didn't piece the puzzle together until I was here, in the dungeon. Now you know everything.
Did Saskia know the Lodge's plans?
She didn't even know the Lodge existed. Philippa told her that the sorceresses would support an independent state in the Pontar Valley. Saskia backed Philippa, and the people backed Saskia.
Who had Foltest assassinated?
I have no idea. Perhaps after Demavend's successful assassination, Sheila and Philippa decided to take the next step.
That would be stupid. Killing Demavend was a way to take control of the Pontar Valley. People would forget the regicide in a year, and the Lodge could put its plan in motion. They had to know that if Foltest died, men like Roach wouldn't rest until they learned why that had happened.
One thing is certain. Letho killed Foltest, and Sheila was working with Letho.
That'll have to do for now.
We'll learn more at the talk.
You're going to it?
You have no memory of how the world worked before the Thanad massacre.
Actually, I know exactly how it worked.
That means...
We'll talk about my memory later.
All right. If the Council and Conclave still existed, kings wouldn't be assassinated and massacres would be less frequent. This is our chance to restore these institutions, and we shouldn't miss it. Normalizing relations between the rulers and the mages who advise them is our only chance for peace.
And our only chance to dismantle the Lodge.
The Lodge will disintegrate anyway. Once the kings learn it was behind the assassinations, they'll start a witch hunt. We can prevent that from happening. I'm all for punishing the guilty, but can't abide collective responsibility. I'm ready to go and reveal everything I know about Philippa Eilhart, Sheila de Tanserville, and their schemes.
Let's go then.
Okay. This should be the end game, I think.
We shouldn't arrive at the same...
Triss.
Yes?
That was some mess. I wouldn't want to see you hurt like that again.
Don't worry, I'll manage. See you at the talks.
All right.
So,
We're about...
Yeah, I can't. Let's go inside.
It's now...
Alright.
In recent weeks, we have deliberated extensively in Vizima on who is to succeed to the Temerian throne. Because the fate of Foltest's last child remains unknown, we could not reach an agreement. Unable to reconcile the interests of the esteemed Temerian houses, we have no choice but to divide the country into provinces along the barony's current borders.
This cannot be, John Natalis. Temeria stands between Nilfgaard and the north. It must be a strong and united realm.
I too would wish it so, Your Majesty. But when Foltest was cut down by an assassin, the country's very heart burst.
I have learned that Anais Lavalette is currently in the hands of the sorcerer Deathmold.
Clearly you have yet to learn of the slaughter that occurred today in the Kedweni camp, King Radovid.
Yet there is hope if the child lives. I hasten to remind you that Vernon Roche, his capture is also your responsibility. He is suspected of murdering King Henselt soon after the monarch's triumph in Vergen. As a Temerian soldier, Roche remains under your jurisdiction, Natalis.
Vernon Roche disappeared with his unit a few days after the successful siege of Lavalette Castle. Should he reappear in Temeria, he shall be arrested and tried as the law prescribes.
To the matter at hand. The document describing the charter of the Council and the Conclave is, as previously ascertained, an exact copy of the charter found in the ruins on Thanet Island. The more important question relates to the Conclave and its power to designate...
This background noise is really distracting.
Today, randomly chosen mages and sorceresses reside at many courts. However, in the time of the previous Conclave, such persons were carefully chosen.
Why shouldn't we pick our own advisors?
These individuals bear great responsibility, Your Majesty. The Conclave needs to be certain they are competent.
And that they will keep the Conclave's interests in mind.
Obviously, sire. The Conclave's chief interest is the well-being and prosperity of the Northern Kingdoms. The document has been signed by every member of the Conclave we have proposed, as well as by all but one of the designated advisors. We await only Sheila de Tanserville's signature.
Without our royal seals, you should be allowed to designate advisors to cowherds at most.
That is true, Your Majesty.
Sheila de Tanserville should never be allowed to sign this document.
Triss Merigold, you decided to join us after all.
De Tanserville has royal blood on her hands. She can't sit on the Conclave.
That is a lie.
Have you anything to support these claims, Merigold?
There are witnesses who will confirm that Sheila de Tanserville was behind the assassinations of Demavend and Foltest.
Officials of the future Council and Conclave. Sheila de Tanserville should be arrested and tried. If Triss Merigold speaks the truth, Lady de Tanserville will be condemned to death.
Sheila de Tanserville, until Triss Merigold's charges are dismissed or refuted, you cannot sit on the Conclave.
Arrest her.
You don't know the whole truth. Merigold doesn't know what she's talking about. Turn back while you can, Witcher. You can't stop me. Not you, not anyone else. If I have to, I will kill you. How do you like my dragon? You're late. I've already managed to stabilize the portal.
You've got nowhere to run. Sooner or later, somebody will find you.
I prefer to leave on my own terms.
Where's Letho?
Sir Synthesis will tend to him, as she will to all the fools who get a hard-on at the mere thought of burning a sorceress at the stake.
Where is he?
I don't know, fool. I've been looking for him since Foltest's assassination. Letho cheated all of us. We were deceived by his dull face and sluggish stare. Don't you understand? The Lodge sought a way to get rid of Demavend, that's true. He was a weak, volatile king. Aedirn would eventually choke to death under his rule. We chose the lesser evil. He had to be eliminated, and Letho happened to be at hand.
Foltest? Henselt?
We had nothing to do with that. After assassinating Demavend, Letho used our gold and magical support to find and meet Yorveth. The elf was to help him hide until the matter blew over, or so I thought. The Lodge did not condemn Foltest to die.
Then who did?
Nilfgaard. Letho is the king of liars and emperor of traitors. From the start, he worked for the glory of the great sun and the white flame dancing on the graves of his foes. He lied to everyone. Me, Yorveth, your stupid little Triss, and you.
Got any evidence?
A moment ago, I received a message from the Lodge's agent in Sintra. The Imperial Army is on the move. They're fording the Yaruga now. Do you think the North can defend itself in the current situation?
Probably not.
But can you count on another miracle at Brenna?
I don't know, but you made it all possible and you'll answer for that. The stigma of treason is yours for all time.
We shall see. For no one will leave this city alive. No one will tell this story. Philippa controls the dragon. As soon as I disappear, it will turn the city into a flaming tomb.
The dragon attacked Foltest's troops during the siege of La Valette Castle. That hardly supports your tale.
We did not control it then. We may have lost a battle, but the war is just beginning. You, however, shall not take part in it. This is your end, Witcher. Farewell!
Something's not right. The diamond! Someone replace the diamond! This one's flawed. I'll be torn to bits! Geralt, remove it!
You waited long enough. Should you survive, go south to Nilfgaard, where you'll find Yennefer of Vengerberg. Farewell, Witcher.
Alright. Hi. Sort out.
Wonder how many more.
Okay. Oh. I'm not killing a dragon. That'd be. What am I at? Dovahkiin?
A list of the Lodge's sorceresses. A list of the whores you'll help us find. What's going on here? Hands off! No, this is the epilogue. I don't think really anything happens. You just kind of walk in, talk to people, and leave.
Are you all right?
More or less.
And the dragon?
Let's say it had a hard landing, impaled itself on a tree.
Did you kill it?
It's alive. You know I don't kill dragons.
But Philippa's...
In time, we'll deal with her. You know that could be one of the last dragons alive, a noble and beautiful creature.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's get out of here.
I guess Letho got away.
He's waiting for you.
Waiting?
Where the Temerians made camp. Come on.
This should be interesting. What happened here while I was gone?
All the kings had many more armed men than they should have had at a peace summit. During the evacuation, several skirmishes broke out. The Kedwenis clashed with the Temerians. The Order's knights raped 2 sorceresses and killed those who dared try to help them.
Do you think the Council and Conclave will survive?
Well, they're established, and that's the only thing that prevented a wholesale massacre. Hard to say if they'll survive, but for the time being, no one's got any better ideas. Mages are part of this world, whether people like it or not. They have to have their rights, their place. Otherwise, another lodge will arise.
Hey.
Vernon Roach, step away from the child. She's of royal blood. Temerian. Too good for you, whoresomes. You're an outlaw, wanted in all the north. Hand over the child and perhaps the king will show you mercy. I piss on Kedweni mercy.
Roach!
Triss! We can't let them have her! This is Foltest's daughter! I've heard enough. Grab them! I failed. Deathmold got away. Thanks, Geralt.
That's fine, you got the kid.
Triss needed my help. You know that. The Nilfgaardians outwitted us all.
What are you talking about?
They kidnapped Triss. The Emperor dispatched the Kingslayers using the Lodge as a decoy. All in order to breed chaos in the northern kingdoms.
Temeria is lost. The Barons will pick it apart into bits.
It's not lost. Temeria will be reunited. Get the child out of here. Take her far away. Far from the kings, their courts, and their wars. One day, she'll reclaim her heritage.
What about you, Geralt?
I'm going after the Kingslayer.
A man of his word.
It's personal now.
Farewell then, White Wolf. I trust we'll meet again in better times.
Farewell, Roach. Where's Yorvith? How is Yorvith?
Proud, I think. The reward on his head has never been greater. Those seeking him, the Scoia'tael hunters, will be reinforced. The special forces throughout the north will receive more resources. The Council and the Conclave are assigning several mages to the task. Yorvith is now public enemy #1. They won't rest until they find him.
They're not going to attack me, are they?
This is no place for witches. Though I know you and you appear wherever something important happens.
True, though sometimes by accident.
And this time, also a coincidence?
Let's say I have something to take care of.
In that case, hurry. Once we're done cleaning up this mess created by the royal soldiery, Loch Muin will be magically sealed.
Getting out of here?
Temporarily. We shall return soon enough to rebuild the city. Loch Muin will regain its former glory. Until that time, we need to keep the treasure hunters and troublemakers out.
So Radovid trusts you?
We shall win His Royal Majesty's trust by delivering Sheila de Tansarville and the other traitresses from the Lodge.
That could take a while. Sheila's fled Loch Muin via Megascope.
We have time. She cannot hide forever. Sooner or later, she will be ours. Forgive me, I must attend to some matters. And don't dawdle. The city will be sealed in 1 hour.
There he is.
Wait for me.
Geralt.
I don't want you to get hurt.
I can take care of myself.
Not this time. I need to talk to him alone. Wait for me at the city gate. If I'm not there within the hour, leave without me.
Took you a while?
Is that bauble from Sheila's Megascope?
Mm-hmm. My final prank. I switched the diamonds. The one in the Megascope has a flaw. Minute. But just large enough to warp the teleport. The Emperor's magic theorists assured me the effect would be spectacular.
I let her escape.
You're heartless. You've no idea what the Royal Witch Hunters have in store for her. A lot of pain for a long time.
I don't doubt it. So, ready to lay your cards out on the table?
They were Yennefer was, so.
Game. There comes a point when all the players need to show their cards. I love that moment. But first... vodka.
I suppose my throat's a little dry.
In that case, let's drink to old friendships. Recovered your memory yet?
Not entirely.
Remember how we first met?
Yeah, I saved your life. Couldn't think of a nicer way to pay me back?
Frankly, I couldn't. I mean, taking care of another man's woman, Yennefer. I can't fathom what you saw in her, but I suppose there's no accounting for taste.
The winter solstice 1270. Midinvern, the night of magic. Letho wasn't lying, the hunt had stopped. At the Hanged Man's Tree, the spectral riders selected from among those they had taken. Yennefer was among them. A wraith cannot be killed, only driven away. Every Witcher knows that. Yet the riders fell beneath the blows of our Witcher's blades. Crimson blood flowed from under their dead men's armor. We could not kill them all. They were simply too many. A stalemate. He was different from all other elves. There was no shame in his gaze. He had never suffered persecution. He had endured no massacres. Humans had not taken his land. This elf was not of this world. He was an invader. We struck a deal. My soul for that of Yennefer. He agreed without hesitation.
Back with me, friend. Got the feeling you left for a minute.
Memories. I remember the Hanged Man's Tree and the Wild Hunt. I remember the exchange. Me for Yennefer.
So, cards out on the table. Unless you chase me all that way just to kill me.
I chased you for lots of reasons. You owe me some explanations to start with.
Let's say I do.
Tell me about Yennefer. What happened after I departed?
She was feverish for several days. Delirious. In agony. We thought that was it. She was on her way out. Somehow she recovered. But even then she was disoriented. Amnesia like you.
What then?
Well, the woman turned out to be quite a character. Throwing temper tantrums. Trying to seduce orcs. Trying to drive a wedge between us. After you so nobly sacrificed yourself, we thought it'd be dumb just to leave her somewhere. She wouldn't have survived more than a month. The whims and vigor of a duchess, but she was just a sorceress with no memory. We were in the heart of the Empire. And as I'm sure you know, Geralt, in Nilfgaard, mages who behave like that either drop their bad habits quickly, or are drawn and quartered by horses in the middle of Victory Square.
So I heard.
So we set out, wandered through the provinces. Everywhere we went, she got in trouble and we pulled her out. And then one day they captured us. The Imperial Secret Police. Me, Ox, Serret, and Yennefer.
Imperial Secret Police?
Mm-hmm. We were separated, and they questioned us. Long and thoroughly, but it was uneventful. No violence. That's how I met Vatia de Rideau. And a couple of weeks later, the Emperor himself. Me. A simple witcher.
What happened to Yennefer?
I don't know. Never saw her again. The Emperor offered me a mission in the Northern Kingdoms. As for Yennefer, I had the feeling she was somehow important to Emir. As I see it, they learned of the Lodge from her. Those Imperial spooks have their ways. All I heard is that Vatir had his men watch Yennefer closely throughout the time she was at the palace. Then we went off to slay the kings of the north. That's where my knowledge ends.
So she's in the Empire?
She was when I left.
How did you know where we'd find the Wild Hunt?
Every Witcher who wears the Viper around his neck knows the place. We had so many books and scrolls about the hunt that I used to think our school was founded for the very purpose of solving the riddle of the Spectral Riders.
Know who they are? You know the true identities of the Riders?
From what I understand, they're some damn elven race. But they turned out to be a big ruse. The legendary Omen of War proved to be a fairground attraction.
No Market Square mage could possibly conjure up a cavalcade of wraiths speeding across the sky. Then there's the amnesia. No, there's something more, I assure you.
Go ahead, enlighten me. I can tell you want to.
There are a lot of legends and myths about it, but the Wild Hunt is a fact. I've fought and killed many of its wraiths. They were spectral emanations, the avatars of real riders. The riders we ran into by the Hanged Man's Tree.
Are you telling me you were carried off by elves? Real material sons of bitches like the ordinary kind we deal with in this world?
They may be ordinary in their world, but they're strangers in ours. The conjunction of spheres. Know the theory? Do you know how monsters appeared in our world?
There's not a Witcher who doesn't know that.
So you know there are other spheres. The most powerful of our mages can open passages between these worlds, and they usually do that to summon the monsters we then have to hunt. The elves we saw come from another world, and they weren't summoned. They found the way on their own. It's not exactly easy, so they usually send their spectral emanations. They come in person on special missions.
As they did for you and Yennefer. So, elves from another world and their trained wraiths. What do they want from you?
I've got an idea, but that's not your concern. How did a Witcher agree to kill humans at another human's bidding?
At the Emperor's bidding, Geralt. And he's no ordinary human. The rulers of the North come up to about where his Pauline's end.
Why?
Simple. He promised to rebuild the School of the Viper, the Witcher's order where I came to be. Witcher's schools in the south fell into ruin long ago, and Witchers themselves became internal exiles, banned from entering most cities. Besides Seret and Ox, I know of 2 other Witchers of the School of the Viper who should be alive and on the path. I don't know where they are. Haven't seen them for years. Now they can come out of hiding. They can come home.
Care to tell me what it was all about?
Kill as many rulers as we could. Lay the blame on the sorceresses. Breed chaos. Prepare the North. Soften it before the invasion. And you know what's incredible? We could not have imagined more fertile soil. No matter what the war's outcome, the northern monarchs will accuse one another. Pursue their God-given rights. Seek vengeance and be at each other's throats for years to come. The North resembles a whorehouse on fire, as your friend Dandelion would say.
There's a lot of information to get through here.
How did you manage to contact Sheila?
It wasn't a problem once I learned of the Lodge's existence. Initially, she watched my every move. But sooner or later, everyone starts treating me like a big oaf. I mean, I can't change how I look. I stayed close to Sheila. Killed a few beasts for her. and whined about how unhappy I was, how unfair the world was. So much, in fact, that I actually got her gander up a few times. I made sure a few potentially trustworthy witnesses saw us together, could link us. Security in case I was captured. I also prepared to assassinate the King of Kavir. Esterad Tyson was to be the first victim of the mysterious assassins. But before I could do the dirty deed, Sheila asked me to slay Demavend. The gods had smiled upon me. I couldn't believe my luck. Here I've been trying to figure out how to frame Sheila, and now all I needed was to carry out her orders and follow through.
Where'd you get your information about the Lodge?
From the Emperor and Vatir Dirido, the Emperor's chief spy. And I believe they got it out of Yennefer.
She recovered her memory?
Nah. I'd never claim she informed on her friends consciously. I expect they found a way to tap into her memory in spite of her amnesia, and without her knowing it. There was a sorcerer present when I was questioned. A young, proud intelligence officer. Whatever the case, they gave me a list of the sorceresses in the Lodge. Only Emir, Vatir, and I were present. Only we knew of the mission.
How do you manage to slay Demavend?
Sheila's magic. I mean, she could give us the king's every move. His habits, the positions of the palace guards, anything. All we had to do was navigate the labyrinth and land the final blow. Besides, she had plenty of gold for the preparations. Greased palms abundantly. It had all the makings of a cakewalk. We barely avoided our pursuers. And we wouldn't have if not for Yorveth Scoia'tael, another of Sheila's ideas. With Yorveth's elves, not only did we cut down Demavend, but traveling with them put us out of the Lodge's reach. We could calmly plan Foltest's and Hensel's assassinations.
How did you know Foltest would come to the monastery's solar?
Yorveth and I planned Foltest's murder. The King of Temeria would have to deal with the Lavalette sooner or later, and he made no secret of it. I was sure he'd want to recover his bastard children in the process. And where do they take the children when a castle's under siege? I had to become a monk, but I couldn't just arrive at the monastery and claim I'd seen the light. Not very believable. So one of Arian's patrols out in the forests happened on a Scoia'tael unit torturing a helpless monk. Arian's brave men drove off the elves and I found shelter in the monastery.
No one noticed you had no wounds?
I paid the monk who treated me a lot of orange to stay silent. Actually, it was only a loan, because I killed him later. Only the dead can keep a secret. Then all I had to do was wait for the situation to develop. When I saw you enter the chamber with Foltest, I thought I might fail. Luckily, you failed. To recognize an old friend.
When did you decide to get rid of Yorveth?
As soon as I realized I couldn't manipulate him. A true fox, that one. He was so observant, so dangerous. I got the sense he might see through me at any moment.
You made a mistake. You were untouchable as long as the Scoia'tael were protecting you.
Maybe, but with Yorveth, my hands were tied. If I'd finished off Kieran...
But you didn't. And that allowed me to drive a wedge between you and Yorveth. I forced you to flee.
And I let you live. You know I could have killed you. You're forgetting.
No, I remember. So Sheila was looking for you when she came to Flotsam.
Mm-hmm. She thought she was still in control and wanted to get rid of me. I'd bet my eyes that she thought I'd lost my mind, or that Yorveth was manipulating me.
And the North descended deeper into chaos.
Exactly. There was just one problem. You. I could have killed you in the Elven ruins. Thing is, you weren't really my enemy.
shame you didn't take a shot at Henselt yourself. History might have taken a different turn.
Maybe I would have killed him. Maybe you would have killed me. Who knows? But Henselt's death, although desirable, wasn't necessary anymore. The plan could go forward without it. Besides, somebody else got him.
You know who?
Come on. We both know.
Why are you still here? Why did you wait for me this time?
I knew you wouldn't give up. I knew you'd pursue me. And I don't aim to hide anymore. Fact is, only you know the truth about me. Well, and a couple of folks whose word isn't worth spit anymore. I never saw you as a foe. I want to go my way. But if I have to fight you first, so be it. This story ends here and now.
I'm done talking. Let's finish this.
Want to fight?
Any vodka left in that bottle?
A swig apiece. Here.
Yeah, I don't see any reason to kill him. Never have.
The Imperial Army is probably crossing the Yaruga as we speak. Pure pandemonium will ensue. The North's finished. Time to go south, where the good life awaits.
You're a fool, Letho. Both you and your Emperor are forgetting one thing. Misfortune brings people together. Very shortly, the North could be united like never before, thanks to you. But that's just not my concern anymore.
I'm not your foe. I never was. Let me walk away and I will. You'll never see me again. Force me to fight, and this time I'll kill you.
I've learned all I wanted to know. I can feel the memories coming back. Your death won't change a thing. Go where you will.
Just like that. No threats. No words of wisdom.
You going or not?
Farewell, Geralt.
There, I did it. Kind of like a Beauty and the Chaos kind of thing.
The Witcher had traveled far and wide in search of the Kingslayers. In Flotsam, he slew Bernard Laredo, but few mourned for the Commandant. Flotsam remained to Marion, while command of the garrison and town went to a Vizima noble, a sworn enemy of Kedwen and an avid angler. To this day, folk gather round bonfires in Lobendon to hear of the Witcher's deeds. The Witcher witnessed a great Kedweni victory in Edirn. At Vergen, Henselt's army crushed Saskia the Dragonslayer's motley force, ending the springtime of races. Soldiers of the Unicorn swarmed over the Pontar Valley. As it had before, powerful Kedwen swallowed Upper Edirn whole. Yet subsequent events would render Henselt's triumph short-lived. After Foltest's death, Temeria's neighbors began to vie for the glittering prize that was the realm's throne. Yet the murders of first Demavend, then Henselt, forced them to look to their own problems. Temeria fell prey to its power-hungry barons. But Vernon Roche held a light of hope for the dying realm, and he tucked it away in a place safe and still to await better times. Years before, Geralt of Rivia had witnessed the fall of the Council and Conclave of Mages. The summit in Loch Muin re-established both bodies, their founders sacrificing Sheila de Tanzerville and her accomplices. Yet Radovid also required humility and loyalty from the proud mages, but this did not sit well with all of them. It was a time of great uncertainty, of rape accomplished by royal decree. Yet as troubled as the days seemed, we, who had in some way shaped the world's fate, finally received some respite. Zoltan resumed the quest for his beloved's hand, and I laid my hand.
Gotta censor this now.
Who could have known this tempest which had ravaged the north was but a harbinger of darker days, and the preamble to an entirely new tale of Geralt of Rivia.
Yeah, it's not really a bad game. It looks really good and it ran pretty good on my computer, but I really don't like it as much as the first one. I guess it has to do with the combat mostly. Like, I really enjoy the combat of the first one, even though it's basically just click at the right time. But in this one, like, when you're playing on normal, it gets a bit more difficult, but then easy is basically just spamming it. I also didn't like the level up system as much. In the first game, it felt like you were like making progress and leveling up all kinds of useful things, and it gave you like multiple. Each like token gave you multiple benefits. But in this one, it's basically like you level up every once in a while and you just get one benefit, like a 5% increase in damage. Whereas like you'd get a whole list of things from leveling up in the first game. And I also got annoyed by the side quests where it's like puzzle solving. Like, I don't have time for this, I gotta get to the third game. Ugh. I also don't like the romance options in this game. You got like 5 different scenes, whereas in the first game you had all those different cards. Which I like those a lot better because it's like more variety in the what you can do. Whereas in this game, it's like you have, I want to say, Triss, Vess, Succubus, Elven Lady, and Hookers. That's about it, as far as I can remember. It seems like there was more on offer in the first game as far as romancing went. Is that it? Creepy. Skip this. If I skip it, will I not see the ending? Okay, yeah, I still see the ending. don't know why he goes so far just to get sticks, but bundle of sticks. Is that a faggot? Better move, dude. Dude, you got lucky. Oh. Yeah, he's lucky he can still walk after getting trampled by horses. Time for an invasion. Okay. Whew. Now I finally get to get into the next game. So, made it this far, thanks for watching, and I'll see you when I get to The Witcher 3 shortly. Just do that and you'll get in. Or look up a guy online, that's what I'll do next time.